Hello and welcome to the Magic the Blabbering podcast. I'm your host, Nick, with Josh.
Hi.
And today we're going to be going over all the things from Aetherdrift. So I hope you're ready to start your engines and that by the end of this you might be a little exhausted.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna come at you fast and furious, and we might. I'm looking forward to this set. I might do a Tokyo draft. I don't know. But we'll see.
Tokyo Draft?
Yeah.
Tokyo Draft? Yeah, Tokyo Draft.
But so we got a bunch of stuff released today from Wizards about Aetherdrift, and I am psyched about this set so much. They've given us a lot today. We've got all 10 teams and their leaders have been released. We've got a new loot. We've got a bunch of new mechanics. Let's talk about the team leaders first, because some of these guys are just insane. It looks like.
Yeah, so Josh, you've been a little bit more in depth in the story, but yeah, I'll start off. We'll just go down the list, and first we're going to start with Kolodin, Triumph Chaser. It's a legendary creature human pilot. It's a 2/3 rare card. Vehicles and mounts you control have haste. Whenever a mount you control enters, it becomes saddled until end of turn. Whenever a vehicle enters, it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So
Yeah, it's a 2/3 and it costs a red and a white. And this card just looks like, insane, right?
yeah, a 2-drop that just says all my vehicles come in punching you in the face.
Yeah.
I know we haven't had a lot of I know we haven't had a lot of mounts yet, but all the vehicles. The first one that comes to mind is a 7-Eleven. The other one that comes to mind is a 2/2 flying card drawer.
Yeah.
And there's so many vehicles that have come out in the last few years that are just ready and primed to just slap in with this guy.
Yeah.
You play him on turn 2, you're going to be drawing cards, you're going to be punching people in the face. You're going to get run over by a truck probably.
This is did Boros really need this card? Boros is so good right now. This card to me is probably, it looks like one of the best cards in the set, honestly.
Well, first of all, I think Boros always needs a little help, at least in Commander. In regular Magic, I don't know. I think it's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But no, this card screams super fun to me. If you were trying to get us to play vehicles, this card is there will be vehicles in your games, and I'm kind of excited for that. And mounts, it's been a small little thing that came out in Thunder Junction, but
right.
Mounts I like. It's a cool thing, and I'm ready to slap all the riders in, and then I can put my car and my dinosaur on my boat, on my
Yeah, and his abilities are just nuts to me. Giving just automatically activating your vehicle ready to roll as soon as it comes into play. There's some crazy vehicles that they've spoiled already, and this set is going to have the most vehicles ever in a set. And we're in for a good time. I feel like.
Yeah, this stream's great gameplay to me. Also, to me, I think this card is actually pretty fair. Just being it needs other things to do stuff, and being a 2/3 for 2 isn't going to break anyone's back, and being legend in your 6 card deck, having extras isn't going to be great. But you want to have 4, so when you drop him, you're slamming people in the face the immediate turn after.
Yeah, I think this card's going to have a big impact on Standard. I feel like it anyways.
Yeah, so now instead of red white mice, now you're getting hit by a red white truck.
Yeah. It obviously depends on what kind of vehicles we do get in this set, but he seems pretty powerful, even with what we've seen so far. You do have the 13/13 for 1 vehicle that Marker is water teased, and I called correctly.
That you would predict. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. My only thing with this guy is I wish he was a 3/1, because he only lets your guys get it for the turn they enter. So him being able to really drive a lot of cars would be more important to me than him sitting back and blocking.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
that's a little awkward, but it wasn't bad. Most crew 2s is what I see a lot of the time, but
if
he's going to make it awkward with your high crew cards.
Yeah, but you get 1 turn with them, and I think
Well, as we go through the spoiler, I'm sure we'll uncover some cool rides that are going to change my tune on this guy.
Yeah, so he's the leader of the team from what's it called? Avishkar. He's the leader from
Oh,
the team from Avishkar. Yeah, he's the one that Chandra's on actually.
interesting. He looks more like he's like from Voltron or like a trans. He looks like Optimus Prime, but like without the helmet. You know.
Yeah. He's got
But
the
I'm
like
into it.
yeah, like the ether spark wheels and all that stuff. So
Okay,
yeah.
so he's Chandra's team leader.
Yep.
Okay. All right. On to the next team, which has the coolest leader I've seen. The Shark Man, Captain Howler, Sea Scourge, two in a blue and a red for a legendary creature, Shark Pirate, War 2 mana, pay 2 life. Whenever you discard one or more cards, target creature gets +2/+1 until end of turn for each card discarded this way. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, you draw a card. So, oh, he's a 5/4, huge, big
Yeah,
boy.
for 4. Yep.
Yep, I'm into this guy. I'm liking the shark. Big fan of the Shark Man, Shark Pirate.
Yeah,
Um,
we've got the vehicle that draws a card and discards a card. The new smuggler's copter in
yeah,
red blue. So I mean that goes right along with his abilities here.
hmm just throwing away pumps. And I mean, it says whenever you discard one or more cards, target creature gets +2/+1 until end of turn for each card discarded this way. So you can discard 5 cards and get +10/+0 to something, right? Am I reading that right?
Yes.
And then that guy dealing damage is using 1. So it's a little goofy because if you do a mass discard, you can only power up one dude, but it's for a lot. But if you do like one at a time, you actually can spread it out. So if
Right.
I'm like pitch a card, pitch a card, pitch a card, these 3 guys hit you, I draw 3 cards back,
Yeah.
which that's sweet. So super into this card. Commander potential all day. You've hit a wheel. Something gets +14. This guy gets plus
Oh
14.
geez. Yeah.
Crack.
He does kind
Hey,
of
my
slot.
shark.
He slots into Nikizar, right?
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's a little hard to kill. Ward 2 is not a joke. You
Yeah.
know, that's not a. You're spending at least 3 to 4 to 5 mana to kill this guy.
Plus 2 life. Don't
Big
forget about
fan.
that.
Oh yeah, whatever. I'm sure he's standard in regular formats. That's like scary. In Commander, I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm rich with life. So next we have Sitma or
Sita
Sita. Yeah,
Sita Varma.
Sita Varma,
And
Masked Racer.
if you read the story, her nickname or her name is Spitfire, is what they call her. She wears a mask to keep her identity hidden because her dad is like a politician and is trying to do some stuff, and she's trying to go behind her dad's back. And so that's the Vorthos of Sita Varma.
Okay, all right. And she's a blue and a green for a 2/3 legendary creature human rogue. And she has exhaust, so we're going to get that new mechanic. Pay X, green, green, blue, and put X +1/+1 counters on Sita Varma. Then you may have the base power and toughness of each other creature you control become equal to Sita Varma's power until end of turn. So once a game, I've activated this exhaust ability only once. So
Yes.
once when you have this card in play, unless it leaves play or something, you can pay, all your mana into this and overrun your opponents with like huge guys.
Yeah. And
It's
so
pretty cool.
let's talk about the exhaust mechanic real quick. So this is something they came up with. Um, Whenever a creature has the exhaust mechanic, it's just something you can only do once per game. So you've got to kind of keep track of that. But if you are, able to blink the creature or the permanent that has the exhaust ability, then it comes back in as a new object, and so you can do the exhaust mechanic again on that same card. So
Yeah. So it's kind of like a monstrous from Theros,
yeah,
where you can only
yeah,
monstrosity once
right,
while the card was out. But if it can come back somehow, you can do it again, or a
yeah.
second copy of the card will be able to do it just fine.
And these are
But yeah,
supposed to be like game ending, abilities. So
yeah,
a lot of them they've released so far kind of are. I mean, like you said, this is kind of an overrun, or a like a mini crater hoof type
makes
effect.
me think of Mirror Entity mostly.
Yeah,
But definitely overcosted. This one's mana cost is very conservative. I mean, in a game of limited, this card would destroy you. So I would definitely. Well, maybe not. She'll get big. I don't know. They were safe on this one. I don't know about that one. I mean, you got to pay 5 to get +2 on her, and then your whole team just. I guess they all become 4/4. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's an overrun.
Yeah.
Because she'll be 4 power. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then as you go later in the game, it's 5/5, 6/6, 7. Yeah, all right. All
Yeah,
right.
and then like your creatures can like crew bigger vehicles and stuff too.
True. And also, if you've been doing +1 counters, they're getting even bigger. So if all your guys are countered up or whatever, you can really get kind of crazy with it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm into that. I'm into it. Interested in politics and magic. That sounds a little real lifey inspired to me. So very
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, so next we have
At
a. You want to give it a shot?
it's just at chick Emerald Radian, and this is
Is that her Instagram handle?
Yeah, I think it is. She's like the leader of the bug swarm. All their cars are, I guess. Why don't they call them buggies for one?
Oh my gosh, yes.
But anyway, so all their cars are insects, and her card is 3, 2 black, and a green for a 3/3 legendary insect druid. Whenever they enter, you get a 1/1 insect creature token for each artifact and/or creature card in your graveyard. And whenever another insect you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Atachik. Each opponent loses 1 life.
Well, this card's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of dudes.
It is, yeah. She costs 6, but yeah. I mean, you're playing Golgari, the Reanimator deck. You're gonna have a bunch of, stuff that you want. You're putting stuff in your graveyard, willingly. So you're gonna have a lot of stuff. It reminds me of the what's the one from Ravnica?
Izoni.
Yeah, Azoni. Yeah, reminds me
It's
of
almost the
reminds me
same.
of that. Yeah,
But I like this one better because it's not like, here, just draw some cards. This one's like, hey, also drain you all out. Like, oh, I have 10 cards in my graveyard. You want a Wrath? Take 10. Everyone, I'll play my commander again.
yeah,
Take more. Or even
Yeah.
in a regular deck, they Wrath. They get, 5 is not a joke with this, and it's 2 types. We're getting artifacts and creatures. We're not just capped.
yeah. That's true.
So, and every commander deck for the most part runs artifacts. So I mean, doubling up on your types. I love it. This card is sweet. I kind of wish. I don't really have any notes. I like the card. I like the insect swarm. I mean, yeah, they're driving their car and they have a bunch of bugs to bug you. So not being called buggies is a misplay on their part. I like that. So I don't know if this is a spoiler, but we want to read the card of the winner of the race.
Yeah.
Is this a spoiler?
I don't know, man. Spoiler alert. Just so we're clear. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Skip like 10 seconds ahead or a minute ahead.
In case you haven't seen the art for the Aether Spark yet.
Yeah. So it's Zahur, Glory's Past. It's a a white and a black, just a white and a black, for a legendary creature, Zombie Cat Warrior. One of the cards they teased on Maro's teaser.
Yep.
For a 3/2 with our other new mechanic, Start Your Engines. If you have no speed, it starts at 1. It increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life. Max speed is 4. Sacrifice another creature. Surveil 1. Activate only once each turn. Max speed. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. So, I'm really liking Start Your Engines.
Mm-hmm.
So, the max speed of Start Your Engines is 3 turns, as we discussed previous to the podcast, to be totally sure. So you play your Start Your Engines card, you get your speed to 1. You can hit your opponent on that same turn, that'll get your speed to 2. And then you'll have to make your opponents lose life on 2 other turns to get your speed to 4.
Yeah.
So, a very interesting threshold mechanic that really emphasizes that first turn of combat, which works really well with vehicles, because in colors like black and white, you're not usually going to have a haster.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm in black and white, play this guy, here's my vehicle, boom. I'm speeding up my clock.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this guy has a great ability. Surveil 1, sacrifice a creature. This is a no mana gate sack outlet. We haven't been seeing a lot of those lately. Usually they'll put like a cost of at least 1. So a free mana list sack outlet is kind of amazing.
Well, I mean, it's capped at once per turn. So
True.
So True. It's not like a...
We get a gate somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
You can get a mana-less one as long as you can only do it once. But it's once each turn, so in decks like Savra and a few other types of commander decks, you can get like second my turn, second your turn, second your turn, second my turn. So that's 4 activations around. And Surveil is very consequential. Like I can fill up my graveyard, and like get some value out of that in my black white zombie deck. Right. I assume since this guy makes a lot of zombies. So yeah, and this is the guy who wins the whole race. Spoiler done.
Yeah. Yeah, the Amonkhet team with Basri and this guy are the winners. And like I said, if you look at the Aether Spark trophy, you can see the hand grasping the trophy, and it's this guy's hand. So yeah, not a big spoiler there, but I didn't really think they would do it. Because they showed that art back in last year, so I was really surprised. So, but
I guess we were always, Magic's story. They always try to hide a thing, but once the set's out, cat's out of the bag. It is funny to lead with the card that has the cat out of the bag. I guess this is literally a cat, so is it cat out of the bag or out of the casket? It's a zombie cat, I don't even know. So, but cool. I'm interested to see. I need to go back and read the story and really understand what's going on. I'm interested to know. I definitely thought Avishkar would be a shoo-in to win when you got, Chandra doing the Akira slide on her card, but we'll get to that a little later.
Yeah. So this going back to the start your engines mechanic, what do you think about this mechanic? To me, honestly, at first glance, it seems kind of slow. I mean, 3 turns to get to max speed, and like I don't know, some of these seem pretty good, the max speed like abilities, but I mean, 3 turns just seems like a lot.
Yeah. So far, I haven't seen every card, but so far, because a lot of the start your engines cards are so cheap, and some of them are legends,
yeah,
I think that really sets you up for larger gameplay, like Commander in slower formats. It's really nice. Like 3 turns is not super long time. Like when you're like interacting, so you can kind of be like, this is going to happen kind of early in the game. Start this on turn 2 or 3. So by turn 4, all your cards are upgraded.
Yeah,
I like it. It's a way to do threshold that isn't tied like mechanically to any color. It plays well with vehicles. I'm a fan of it. It's also one of those outside of game things that we get with like dungeons and some of those other things.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't seem that like hard to grok. Like I get it. Like it's not confusing. Once you got it down, I feel like I digested it, and it has a funny name. But other than that, I like it. I would.
Yeah.
I can see. I mean, it's kind of tied to like how powerful are the payoffs more so than how powerful is this mechanic. It's not like, oh my goodness, the Monarch is so crazy. It's more like start your engines is whatever. Is this individual card a problem that has start your engines because you can start your engines too fast?
Right. Yeah. This is the.
I am a little bothered. Are all the cards that reward us all max speed? Because I feel like if we have like if your speed is 1, is your speed 2, is your speed 3, then I think we can get some spice out of it.
Yeah, I don't know that they talked about that a whole lot on their stream about if there's going to be cards. He said there's one card that could cause you to lose speed, but nothing else will cause you to ever lose speed. So this is like the what is it? The City's Blessing from
Ixalan.
From Ixalan. Because like once you have it, you can't lose it. So once you get to max speed, then you have it for the rest of the game. So
yeah. But it's less binary. It feels like you have to do work. Where
I
know you had to do work to get the City's Blessing, but it kind of just feels like, and then the game got to this point and it happened.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like, like I jam Ark of Orazka and all sorts of commander decks, and it's just like, this will happen when it's supposed to. It's not often that I'm like, oh no, I'm down 1 permanent. And if it happens early, it's like, who cares? I'm not going to activate this on turn 5. But yeah, I like it. I'm into it. I'm interested. I'm actually always a bigger fan of seeing effects that are like interesting and unique and don't scream like, oh my god, this is the most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, cool. This isn't a dungeon. I didn't have to have a headache reading it. And now I'm just like, cool. So what does max speed really mean? How many of these other cards do I have to see? They work better together, but they also work by themselves. And by themselves, they're a little slow, but when we have a racing team together, we really can get somewhere. So I'm interested. I'm loving it. Definitely not what we thought. We thought it was just going to be when this enters fire up your vehicles or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Which instead it was something much more interesting to me. And I guess you're increasing your speed. You're speeding up the game by taking life away from your opponent. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it means. So pretty cool. So I guess to decrease speed, you just gain life on your opponent. It's like I'm slowing this game down, literally, because you are. Cool, I'm into it. So how about we read the card for my favorite team, which I'm only into it because I like monsters and beasts.
Yeah.
So I know you're the card guy, but I'm like, you guys riding a freaking bat demon thing. Like, let's go. So Caradora, Heart of Alakria, 2 green and a white for a 4/2 legendary creature human knight. When Caradora enters, you may search your library for a mount or a vehicle, reveal it into your hand, then shuffle. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature or vehicle you control, uh, that many +1 counters are put onto it instead. So, a hardened scales and a vehicle finder. So this card's never without its best mount or vehicle.
Yep.
Um, so I'm interested in that. A tutor kind of gives me vibes of like to say, but like it rewards you for it being dead. Kind of looks like it should fly though. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like this creature should fly.
Yeah, but it does like I'm sure there's mounts that do fly that it. I know there's like it like has a specific creature that it mounts that goes along with
Yeah, let
it.
me read that because I see it right here.
Okay.
It's Lagorin, Soul of Alakria, green and a white for a 1/1 flyer. Whenever Lagorin attacks while saddled, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target mounts and or vehicles. Saddle for 1. So this is the mount that goes along with Caradora,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cute. A little underwhelming. I thought that card would be a rare, but pretty cool card. I like it. It has the flying that we're missing, and so he settles it and he rides it over and he plucks you for 1.
Yeah,
So
and then you get to put 2 +1/+1 counters because if you have
yeah,
both of those out, so
so yeah, it becomes a 3/3, then a 5/5, or a +1 counter on to yeah. So they each get bigger and bigger. So kind of interested in that. I'm interested in how they're going to thread the needle with saddle because it's definitely a lot different than crew. So yeah, I hope that it threads the needle because I think this is our main team that'll have
yeah,
Saddle, the green white
I
team.
think this is the only team that has saddle.
Yeah, so we're really gonna see in a set where it's like, what's better, crew or saddle?
And
I think we're gonna have a definitive answer there.
so they said that saddle and mounts were made for this set because the ones in Thunder Junction did have different text on them, and they were like, well, we have this text for the set coming up, and it's basically the same mechanic, so they just went back and changed the ones in Thunder Junction to be saddles and mounts. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
interesting. All right, huh? That's some fun lore. Yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes. I don't know if Caradora's best mount is going to be Lagarin. It might be something else, but
yeah.
I'm interested. This is a deck that looks exciting to me. Green white. I'm always looking for something a little more spicy, and this card's kind of filling the bill. It's like 10 cards in one, so I'm liking it. And now a blast from the recent past. We want to get into Winter, Cursed Rider. So if you guys don't remember, Winter was just from
Duskmorn.
Duskmorn. He's a blue and a black for a 3/2 legendary creature, human warlock. Even though he looks kind of like something else.
Yeah.
Ward, pay 2 life. Artifacts you control have ward, pay 2 life. Exhaust, pay 2, a blue and a black. Tap, exile X artifact cards from your graveyard. Each other non-artifact creature gets -X/-X until end of turn. Activate each exhaust ability only once. This kind of surprises me. I didn't expect to see a character return so fast. I mean, we don't see that often in Magic, right? Or at least
Yeah,
not
I mean,
since
well, loot.
you know,
I mean, we have loot.
Loot.
Yeah.
We got a lot of recurring characters. I'm kind of interested in Magic having a continuing story where we're seeing people that aren't planeswalkers popping up more and more.
Yeah, so this is like an actual. Have you seen the movie Death Race or Death Race 2000? So 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 we're gonna go back just like we did with Maximum Overdrive. We're gonna talk about Death Race 2000. This is a movie. I think it was Sylvester Stallone's first movie. Who else is in it? It's the dang it, what's his name? He's the karate guy. He's a martial art guy.
Jackie Chan.
No. Uh,
Oh, Jason Statham.
no, this is an old movie. This is I told you it was Sylvester
I
Stallone's.
looked up Death Race and I see him.
That's
So
yeah. So that's
that's Death Race 2.
yeah, that's the remake. So Death Race 2000 is like like I said, it's Sylvester Stallone's first movie. It's like from the 70s. Um, dang it, what's his
Yep, it's
name?
from 1975. There it is. David Carradine.
David Carradine, yes. Okay, so
Okay.
so Death Race 2000. This is Sylvester Stallone's first movie. Has David Carradine in it. He plays Frankenstein. He's like this like mask guy. So basically, what it is they take these people. And if you go, they like remade the movie with Jason Statham, and this kind of follows this like Jason Statham's a prisoner, but he's a good driver, and so he enters this. They have him enter this death race. If he wins his freedom, whatever. So this is kind of the same thing that Winter's going through right now, because Val Gavoth, made this race team for him. He got loot to kind of cheat with the Omen paths. And so Winter is trying to race for his freedom because Valgavoth says if he wins, then he's going to get his freedom back. And so this is the like actual death race storyline for Winter. And we get these. He has like a like Lightning McQueen looking car too, with the face on it.
Ka-chow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's his. So his card. His car is the kind of the one we talked about with the Aether Drift spoilers, Mark Rosewater's teaser we talked about in our last podcast episode. That I guess correctly, this is the Death Shadow vehicle. It's called the Last Ride. This is his car. It costs one. It's a 1313. It costs one black. It's a legendary artifact vehicle. It gets -X, where X is your life total. Crew 2, and then you can pay 2 black, pay 2 life, draw a card. So this. His card and his car are really cool, and I'm more interested in actually his car than him himself. But I mean, his ability seems pretty strong, right? You get a board wipe that X it gets basically it's a board wipe that doesn't affect himself, but you are doing you do have to play a lot of artifacts and get them in your graveyard somehow. So there's that, but
It's really low mana, so it's actually a pretty good ability.
Yeah,
for being so low mana,
a
lot of these cards are really efficient.
Yeah, it only costs 4, and he costs 2. He's a 3/2 for 2. So I like his stats because he's crewing vehicles pretty well with that 3 power. But yeah, the art is funny to me. Just the car with the face. But yeah, it's like
this whole set has a lot of funny vibes. Like just Magic is really focused on capturing fun visually lately. Yeah, I'm about it.
It is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's threading that needle. We're getting cool, but we're also getting fun. Like this is like, whoa, what is going on? Like, I definitely see that between both cards. You have that crazy like flying demon spear behind him.
Yeah.
You see it in both cards. It's like really cool pullover. Is that part of his car? Is he have this big demon, horn thing? It's crazy. So I'm excited. Again, it sounds like he doesn't win his freedom, but he did bring the loot with him. So we're kind of going to talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But let's get into the next racer. We have the Far Fortune End Boss. 2 black-red for a 4/5 legendary creature human mercenary. Mercenaries are back again.
Mm-hmm.
Start your engines. Whenever you attack, Far Fortune deals 1 damage to each opponent. Okay. Max speed. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 1 instead. So it kind of sets off its own engines pretty easy. You just need any creature in play, and that's you're on speed 2 immediately. Pretty big, 4/5, and a damage picker upper. I don't know how you want to say it. Damage modifier. I like it. I like the ping. What do you think about her?
Well, as far as a card goes, I think, I like it. It's, very Rakdos. I do like that you just have to attack for you to get that 1 damage through to, build your speed up. The main reason I love this, not the card itself necessarily, but I'm excited because so this is the like Mad Max team. They come from a like wasteland. It's a new plane, so hopefully we go to this plane. It's called I forget the name of the plane. It's like gas something. But I'm excited about this because we get the new plane. We get a Mad Max plane that we have the possibility of going to. So that's the reason that I'm super excited about this whole team. I dig Mad Max, one of my favorite movie series of all time. But yeah, I'm more excited about what comes along with this than the card itself, because I'm looking forward to seeing all these like wasteland riders and the Mad Max vehicles and stuff. So I'm excited for what we haven't seen about this
The
team.
End Riders is their team, and they're from Gastal.
Gastal, yeah,
Gastal.
yeah,
Yeah, so very Mad Max. I'm into it. I like how all these are movies inspired. It feels like
yeah,
they all have a place. So I'm into that too. I'm here with you. The card itself, kind of low impact, honestly, but
I mean, a 4/5 for 4 is nothing to scoff at, I guess. That deals 1 damage on any attack. So
yeah, and it starts dealing 2. Once you get that max speed, it's really going to stack up.
yeah,
So I think it looks a little worse than it is. I think it's actually a better card than it looks. So definitely a subtle pickup, and then if you have any way to increment damage by 1, you're really going to stack that up. So if you're pinging, it's like 2, 2, 2, 2,
yeah,
and all of a sudden it's way more. So big fan of that. Okay, and then we have one of the coolest arts I think so far, Redshift Rocketeer Chief, red and a green for 2/3, legendary creature Goblin Pilot. Goblins are back on the menu. Vigilance. Tap, add X of any one color where X is Redshift's power. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. Exhaust for 10 colorless, or 10 generic, red and a green. Put any number of permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. So, pretty cool.
Yeah, this is like his exhaust mechanic is what I like kind of expected to see on a lot of these cards. So the kind of lore behind this guy, as far as the character goes, is he is the first goblin to ever like strap a rocket onto something. So so you notice he's got white hair, so he's like an old goblin. So he's like been doing this and survived, all this time playing with rockets. So that's kind of his lore. And there's another card that kind of goes along with him. That I don't know if Draconautics Engineer.
Okay.
So you basically strap a rocket onto a dragon. It kind of goes along with him, yeah. Because I think in the art for that card, it's him riding the dragon with holding a rocket.
Yes.
So.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is a white-haired goblin.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's so cute.
Yeah.
That card's sweet, also.
It is sweet.
Okay. So yeah, I'm into this, and they're part of the Goblin Rocketeers team.
Yeah.
This seems like a whole new little archetype. Like your commander is like an ability payoff. So this thing just stays in play, and you just start pumping up. And not even that. If you have a way to boost it, it's just pumping all sorts of abilities. So I'm thinking like all sorts of like weird cards I haven't played with in a long time. You're activating Kamal. You're activating like dragon abilities, like souls and stuff. Sweet card, really sweet. And its own ability, you activate a Galta, put all your cool stuff into play. Very red green.
Yeah.
Very fun card. I'm seeing fun is like the big FUN is on a lot of these cards.
Yeah, I mean a 2/3 for Vigilant, 2/3 with Vigilance is pretty dang good too.
Yeah, so you can keep attacking, so you're never just stuck. You're pumping its power up, but you can bash in, then use some abilities.
Yeah.
It's kind of best of all worlds there. I love this design. Green getting Vigilance was kind of a big deal. A lot of times in green, you're like, do I smack you with my big guy? Because I'm going to get smacked way harder by all those little guys.
Yeah.
But now you're like, bam, bam. Really, really good win. I've seen a lot more green Vigilance in this set specifically. But yeah, so we're ready for the next, our journey into space.
Yeah, I think this is the last one, right? The last team leader.
Yes, sir. We've got Medicant Core Guidelight. So there's a comma, Guidelight there. White in a blue for a star 3. Legendary artifact creature robot. Medicant Core's power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. It has start your engines. And when you have max speed, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1. If you do, copy it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's kind of wild.
Yeah, I think of the ones they've released so far on these team leaders, I think that's probably the best one.
I'm pretty. That's pretty efficient. So what you're telling me is I need a one mana vehicle in my deck. Then when I play this guy, I can create get to max speed 2, and in 2 more turns, I'm copying every artifact I play.
Yeah,
That is spicy. Not
yeah.
only that, every time, and it gets big. This guy is going to get huge.
Hmm.
Like, +2 power every turn, minimum. Yeah. Robots be robot. Guess they have some good synergy.
Yeah,
Um,
the team's pretty cool. It's a bunch of like mechs that's like have a hive mind, and they but they have like vehicles that they like drive too. So it's like robots piloting vehicles. It's kind of weird,
kind of
but
weird.
yeah, I dig it. I like this. I like this team a lot. So
The Guidelight Voyagers, are they going to be from the space set? Do we know that? Are they
yeah,
from the space set universe?
I don't know if they've said what plane they're from, but if I had to guess, I would say we're going to see these guys again this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what it screams to me, but I don't know how you do a space plane if there aren't more planets. So maybe this is a planet in their solar system or whatever they call it going on.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it could take entirely. It could take place entirely in space too, right? And they have
yeah,
like different ships and stuff. So
yeah, maybe there are no planets. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's super spicy. So we have some cool teams. They're all very different. You know, some animals, some bugs, some undead, some goblins, a shark.
a
You
shark.
know,
Yeah. A beast rider.
yeah, Mad Max.
Mad
Yeah, it's
Max.
all over. You're kind of getting this kind of a taste of every. I mean, you got the Tron vibes coming from Kaladesh, uh, pirate vibes. I'm just not sure what Sita Varma is really trying to do there, but I'm sure there's something that I'm missing, some reference. Caradora is like every weird '90s Beast Rider animated show I'd ever seen. There's several of them.
So
Just all over.
so Sita Varma actually has like I don't know if it's like a suit or something that runs on Aether that like makes her super fast. Like if you look at the art, you can see like the blue streaks.
Yeah.
She like has a thing like it that injects. I don't know if it's injects her or injects a suit with ether, and so she can
Okay.
like speed around. Yeah, that's like her kind of gimmick.
Interesting. I wonder if that's a call. I don't know. There's so much. They're pulling from so many lores. I'm sure I'm missing some pop culture on some of these cards.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm loving this set. Um, a lot of surprising cards. I guess maybe we should talk about what's on the line for all these guys. We talked about it a little bit before, but it's the Aether Spark. Um, it's the Aether Spark's a 4 colorless card with 4 loyalty counters. The legendary artifact Planeswalker Equipment.
yeah,
What a type line. It says, as long as the Aether Spark is attached to a creature, the Aether Spark can't be attacked and has whenever the equipped creature deals combat damage during your turn, put them any loyalty counters on the Aether Spark. And then its abilities are +1, attach the Aether Spark to up to one target creature you control, put a +1 counter on that creature, -5, draw 2 cards, -10, add 10 mana of any one color.
yeah.
Wow,
It's
that is a mouthful.
yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about this card. I expected something like really, really like I guess better than it is. I expected a
Yeah,
lot more out of this card. To me, it's kind of underwhelming a little bit, but um, yeah, it's interesting play space for sure.
I think
'Cause
if this card didn't say artifact, I think it would be a lot better than it is.
yeah,
But it's hiding itself on creatures is kind of nice.
yeah. So I mean, it says you can't attack it, um, but you can like, I mean, you can. There's just like destroy artifact cards, you know. I know,
Yeah,
I know. There's like destroy planeswalkers and destroy creatures and all that stuff, but like, I mean, this thing just dies instantly. To me, is what it seems.
yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely safe. I think in games where if it wasn't an artifact, I think this card would be nuts. And maybe they did test it as like just as a planeswalker,
Yeah,
because if you can just zot it off with a thing, this card might be nuts because you pay it for 4, you plus you put a counter on a guy, you smack in, it gets a ton of loyalty. So now if you kill the creature, good luck killing it. And if you can't get rid of the creature, I'm going to draw 2 cards every turn, or maybe even add 10 mana. That's a
Yeah.
lot. I
Yeah.
think the card's pretty sweet. It is an equipment, so I think it will work with equipment synergies. Since it has the type equipment, if you can move it onto things for free, you will get that. So imagine you have an instance where you can slap this onto a creature from an ability, then because you don't have to hit a player. It's just when you deal combat damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it on something, I hit in. Now if I can get to that 10, suddenly I'm going to get a huge boost of mana. I'm going to go from 4 to 10 mana right there. Or maybe just draw some cards. Drawing 2 isn't nothing.
Yeah.
I see a lot of play to the card. I definitely see where it's weak. But it's in a weird space because artifacts are the most easy to pop out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and really move around. But also they're easier to destroy. So I think this card has a lot of dreams in it. Has a lot of potential to do some fun stuff. But
Yeah.
definitely not being colorless. I think that limits it a lot. But the weirdest, most unique card I think I've ever seen.
For sure. Yeah. I guess it's not super underwhelming to me, but for being like the face of the set, this is the only serialized card. So this is like basically the face of the set. It's underwhelming in that respect. But I do see it being very playable. And we can talk about another card real quick that kind of goes along with this. That is the Repurposing Bay. So it's basically the blue
Birthing
Pod. Yeah. So Repurposing Bay is 2 and a blue artifact. 2, tap it, sacrifice another artifact, search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle, activate only as a sorcery. So, you can go dig for this card out of your deck, So there's
slap it onto something.
So
I love this card because you didn't used to be able to stack your pod to your pod, but now your pod can stack the other pod. So this stacks your 2-drop, then it stacks it to get a 4-drop. Do a lot of funny things.
Yeah,
it's a sweet card.
So they said in the live stream, they said that they tested the crap out of this card, and then they also said by the time they were done reading this, that somebody has probably already broken it. So, so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's a dangerous card.
They definitely strap the 2 mana to the activation, which I think is a big deal.
Yeah,
it's in blue. It has a forced colored mana cost, unlike Pod, which was just 3 colorless.
Right. Yeah.
For 4 mana, you can pop off this. You have to have 5. I'm into it. It looks fun. I'm sure I'll see a lot of fun games with it. I'm sure I'll see some not fun games with it. But we'll see. I'm interested in the card.
Yeah.
I like these cards, but they do kind of lend themselves to a little bit of repetitive gameplay. I don't play Pod a lot in Commander because it's just I know what I'm going to do. It ain't going to be good for you. But the deck building implications in Standard and small formats, that sounds great. I love playing Pod in Standard. I love it in small formats. It's really, really exciting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this card gets broken in Modern, and because I think that's where its home is going to be if it has a home. I don't know if if it has much of a home in Standard, but getting a vehicle, I guess, is pretty good. But I don't know if it's good enough for Standard. But
yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in it. We'll have to see. I'd love to play it in a few different Commander decks. I'd love to play it and just see. I'm sure I'll read online a whole bunch of things that it can do that I didn't think of, and I'll be like, wow, people are smart. I am not.
Yeah. There's much better deck builders out there than me for sure.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you can go get with that card is any old Gearhulk, right?
And we got several of those today.
Yeah, we've got 3 so far. So they did confirm that this is a full cycle of allied colored Gearhulks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had
no one's getting left out.
We've had the green white one for a while. We won't talk much about that, but we did get 2 new ones today. One of them is the Oil Deep Gearhulk, 2 blue and 2 black for a 4/4 artifact creature construct. Lifelink, Ward 1, When this creature enters, look at target player's hand. You may choose a card from it. If you do, that player discards that card, then draws a card.
Yeah.
What do you think about
Hype for
this?
this card.
Are you?
Hype.
Okay.
So I play Commander a ton, and discard is usually pretty bad. It's hard to kind of like just throw off a one-off Thoughtseize or Duress.
Yeah.
And a lot of times games will get choked up because you don't know if that person untaps, game is over. We saw them set up and we can't stop them. If you can snag like one card, sometimes that's all you need. And for some of my decks, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Just let me pick that out of your hand. Yeah, they get to replace the card. I don't really care. If you can't kill me next turn, big ups for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's not feel bad. They're not going to go way behind. Also, this has great stats. It's in blue-black. Like, it's a lifelinker. It's a little hard to kill for the ward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is a little piece of masterpiece. So I'm going to be trying to play this card a lot. It's hard to cast, but I like it. It's a card that every once in a while they make a card that I'm like, oh, this is the thing I've been needing. And, you know, this might be it. I was trying to play Grief in Commander. Losing a card was a little too much for some of the decks I was trying to play that in.
Yeah.
But this guy, you know, he's a workhorse. He just does the thing I need. He's a big body, gains me some life, it costs no mana. Or like 4 mana, you know, not a lot of Commander.
So two things about this card I do want to point out is it doesn't say non-land card, so you can pick any card out of their hand. Is one thing, and also you can choose yourself. If you're in a bind, you can discard a card and draw a card for yourself. So,
or you can pitch your Reanimator guy into your graveyard and then you bring that back. Yeah. Or just sort of it has draw a card, discard a card for you.
Mm-hmm.
You also don't have to pick a card when you look at their hands. So their hands full of junk. You're like, cool. You're definitely dead now. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just clear. So big fan of that. I like discard. Discard gets a bad rap, just like land destruction. But I think certain amounts of discard are good because when you're getting the game ruled over by like a control deck or like they have the rift, but I need it to go, or I know or I need to fight a combo piece that's in their hand. I think they're gonna do their thing, get it out. I love it.
Or if you just want to look at their hand and see if that you can combo off, or
right.
if the coast is clear or not. So
yeah, love it.
So we did get
one other Gear Hulk.
Yeah,
red green.
Yeah, red green. It's Pyrewood Gear Hulk. 2 colorless, 2 generic, 2 red, 2 green for 7/7 with vigilance and menace. When this creature enters, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance and menace until end of turn. Damage can't be prevented this turn.
Another sweet card.
Yeah.
It's another not hoof, but like fun. It's also an artifact and a creature, so this is one of the most abusable type combos you can possibly have in Magic. Like, this thing's gonna come in. You might see it come in 3 different ways. Get it with my pod. I'll get it with my, my creature tutor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like stack it, reanimate it, bring it back 3 different ways. That +2/+2 menace might even be better a lot of times than trample, because that's like pseudo unblockable some of the time. Right. I don't know how many boards you've had with like multiple menace creatures, but menace is a beautiful mechanic. I've been loving it ever since they made that a thing over fear, and like you just get in.
Yeah.
I mean, it plays more fair than it feels like fear did, but man, it is powerful. And then that other line of text, again, another one that's just hidden those little knobs. I love these little accents they're putting on the cards. The damage can't be prevented this turn. So all those people in Commander, a lot of times people are posting up behind a glacial chasm, what's that enchantment, solitary confinement, just all these annoying, like, Maze of Ith, all this crap.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Oh,
yeah, the Pillow Fort decks or the Fog decks. Yeah.
Yeah, just totally let me in, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this design space. I'm loving all these little avenues, and it's in a big creature space. I love big creatures.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, a 7/7 for 6 with vigilance and menace. Like, I mean, you could almost stop there, and then you get these other effects. So, I did want to point out. So, if you read the flavor text on this one, it says a mighty memorial to a fallen savior. So this is harkens back to Realmbreaker, or Ren and 7. That creature that they sacrificed it to make Realmbreaker to fight off the Phyrexians. So this is a
Oh,
callback to that. If you look at the art, you kind of can see the Ren and 6 type, you know, tree creature.
okay. Also looks like a callback to Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. I sacrificed myself for everyone.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, so
Let's.
when we see a Groot copy of this, well, then you know.
So we've got another creature. I think this is probably going to be the last one we talk about on this podcast. We just got overloaded with a whole bunch of stuff today, and we both haven't had time to dig through all of it. But one last creature that we want to talk about is Loot, the Pathfinder.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Pikachu.
So, like I said, Winter had him trapped in a cage and was using him to kind of cheat his way through the race. And he ended up going, like, getting freed from the cage by Chandra and kind of going with Chandra. So, he's got a new card, Loot the Pathfinder. He's 2 green, blue, red, 2/4 for legendary creature Beast Noble. Double strike, vigilance, haste, and then he has 3 exhaust mechanics. The first one is green tap, add 3 mana of any one color. Blue tap, draw 3 cards, and red tap, he deals 3 damage to any target. So, what do you think about this one?
I love this card. This card is sweet.
It is,
All
yeah.
over it. I mean, 3 sweet mechanics. It just pays itself back like immediately.
Yep.
I really can't say much more good about it. I mean, sweet. You get sweet abilities because you got to do them once, but you activate him the first time, you can get in for 4, then you draw 3. He's totally paid himself off. And
Yeah.
then the next turn you're tapping, you're getting a bonus 2 to your mana, so you can play all those cards, and then you get a bolt. So sometimes he's gonna just zot something that was being a problem for you. So
Like, he's the perfect commander, I think, because, like, people aren't going to want to kill him because you can just bring him back and do all these abilities again, you know?
yeah, and he's got double strike, so like you can't really ignore all that damage. And if you pump him somehow, like he likes to wear equipment and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, great commander, great card. More um, now we have a third way to play loot. You had a really weird one the first way. The second one's a little bit more straightforward green. This one's like
Yeah.
get wild, and I'm all about it. It's the
Yeah.
cutest one I've seen so far. I think this thing's adorable.
Yeah.
Also, all the arts is adorable.
With
So big fan.
his little goggles.
Yeah, little guy,
Yeah.
this little man. So I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Um,
This seems like a very fun card to build around.
yeah, I'm looking. I actually looked at it pretty seriously. I'm like, this might be my teamer guy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't built a teamer commander deck to keep yet, and he could be the one. So
Yeah.
I love. Because I actually had a teamer tap ability deck a long time ago, and maybe this is the revival card. I'm like, cool. He's the leader. He draws. He likes to untap, but I'll need to blink him too. So a
So
little,
this
little spicy.
like this goes pretty well with did you remember that card from Duskmourn, the Murderous Mimic, Marvin the Murderous Mimic? He gets all activated
Yes.
abilities of creatures you control.
Oh,
Yeah.
does that circumvent the exhaust? Maybe not, but even if it didn't, that's you got to multiply out these abilities. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think like he has that ability, so he could do, he could do the
Yeah, you can
ability
do it.
once, yeah. So,
Yeah, so you draw 3 off your Marvin, you smack him with the blue, then you untap, you just go nuts.
yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, they seem like they were a match made in heaven. Pikachu and Chucky. All right, no, this set is it's cooking up some cool standard combos. I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
And since Loot's the last card we wanted to talk about, I did want to talk about another spicy piece of Aetherdrift news.
Okay.
Gold borders.
Yeah. Yeah. Gold borders. So yeah, if you haven't seen these yet, these are a new, what are they called? First place foil treatment.
Yes.
It's a so like they were showing these cards on the stream today, and they just had to keep saying, trust us, these cards look way better in person than we can show you on a computer screen. And yeah, I mean, I love all the art, I love all the treatment from this set except this. But I mean, that might
You
change.
don't like the gold border?
Yeah, it might change when I see it in person. But I mean, they've talked about the graffiti art, the graffiti like borderless treatment. The Rude Riders, I'm super stoked about. I love the old like Rat Fink style Ed Roth art. I'm digging that. Like
Yeah.
I normally when I see a set, like I can just like gloss over, like just skip a lot of the extra treatments, like the borderless, all that stuff. I got to be honest with you. I bought a collector booster box of this set. I pre-ordered it, yeah, and
Oh
just
wow.
just because like these really speak to me. These the Rude Riders especially, and the graffiti arts. I really freaking love those. So yeah, so I normally just despise collector boosters. Because they're just the same cards that look different, but man, these really these really speak to me. So yeah, I did it. I bought a collector's box of Aetherdrift.
I'll tell you what, if you haven't opened many of those, oh man, they are a blast. Like it's like you got 10 boxes in one. It feels like some
Oh
time.
yeah,
Not through volume, everything's a hit. It's
don't get me
great.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. They are fun to open. I love opening them, but man, for the price, I can't justify it normally.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I treated myself this time. So
yeah, yeah. You're like, I'm going in.
yeah.
And you were telling me that these gold borders they're showing on the screen, even though they look like a particular color that
People
you all will know when you
people
see
are
it.
people are calling him the piss border cards.
They are okay. We can say it's a piss border, but they look like some. I said it immediately. They look like pee.
Yeah.
Um, I have to assume they look something like the those old pre-release, not pre those old Pro Tour decks border is what I'm hoping they look like.
No,
I hope
I
they're
don't.
more
I
that
don't.
color.
No, I don't think so. Well, no, I don't. Because those are like actually like gold. These are more
Yeah,
like like yellow gold. I feel like
really.
yeah, that the way it looks. Yeah.
Uh,
They like had a video of them like real. It was just like a real
uh,
quick video. Yeah, they still looked yellow. So I'm not a
I guess I'm
fan,
gonna have to
but
see them in person to
yeah,
know.
yeah, for
Well,
sure.
then I'll be like, now I know for
Yes. So
sure.
you get one. I think you like get one in your box topper. So
Okay.
I think there's two cards in the box topper. One's a land and one's a card that has the yellow border on it. So we'll see.
I know if people like this, maybe even if they don't, we will be seeing men. I'm sure we'll see that yellow border way more.
Yeah. No,
So,
I don't think so. I think this is just a gimmick for this one set.
no, really?
Yeah, I think
Like
so.
when they showed us the white borders from MH2, I was MH Mystery Booster
Mystery Booster.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty sure we'd be seeing more. We'll see.
Yeah. No.
I guess there's always testing.
Yeah. I think this is just a one-off. Like maybe like Mystery Booster 5 or something. We'll see it.
Okay.
They'll be like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I get
we
that.
did the first place because they'll put some of these cards in there probably and do that. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, I'm interested. We got more anime sparkle cards. It looks like so.
So the treatments, they did talk about the showcase anime art that's back. The fracture foils, which are, I mean, those are, I think personally I love those foils. Those are the best looking foils for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love everything about this set that they've released so far. So this we're gonna talk more about Aetherspark, coming up next week, and because we're gonna get a whole bunch more stuff this week, and we did we don't have time for everything. We just wanted to cover most of the team leaders and some of the cards. I wanted to kind of toot my own horn, so to speak, that I got that card right, the Death Shadow
Yep.
vehicle. So
You did. Good guess.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm hyped for the set too. Didn't start out that way, but every time they spoiled anything a little bit, now I'm seeing cards. I'm like, this set is wild,
yeah,
wild in a good way.
yep,
So cards I know I'm playing, like I'm for sure playing the old Deep Bureau. I'm considering new commanders. Like I'm
yeah.
just looking at all these cards. Like, how are we going to slot these in? Now I'm going to be thinking about vehicles. Just a lot of fun cards, fun ways to play, and I just can't say much more good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cool mechanic, like nothing in the set has even come close to giving me like everything in the set's like, yeah, let's do it. What's
Yeah.
this? Powerful and fun. They're really threading that needle, And even with the cards that are like, I'm looking at Aethers I'm like, is this card like Josh? Like, I don't know, this card looks bad. I'm like, is this card really good? And I just can't appreciate it. I'm like, do I just slap this on a double striker, get like 10 energy, like 10 counters on, make 10 mana, and boom? Like, I don't know. Just bizarre. Oh, I'm just seeing the start your engines card. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah,
I've seen the start.
the like tracker card.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
cool as heck. With
yeah,
all the racers on it.
yeah. And I think
I like.
the back has the 4 with the car on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
set looks amazing. I'm digging it all over. I can't say more. Cycling's back. That's kind of the only thing we didn't talk about. Big fan of that mechanic. We're also filling out the rest of the lands we got from Duskmore.
Oh yeah,
So
the Verge
yeah,
lands. Yeah, yeah. They did talk.
yeah,
They talked
awesome.
about the mechanics in this set. They're doing um, like kind of one offs. They said they're going to take some, evergreen or like some deciduous mechanics, which means that they, kind of appear only in one set, but not. And so they're some of these cards are going to have one off mechanics that you haven't seen before. So I know there's like Exert is in here. You're going to see some energy in the commander decks and stuff. So yeah, super excited about the Aether Spark. I'm really looking forward. We're month out of MagicCon Chicago, and that's a week after Aether Spark or Aether Drift releases. And man, I can't wait.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing play some games, looking at these lands. Oh my gosh, these are crazy cool.
Yeah,
So everything about this set is cool, and
and
I'm hyped.
this
I'm
is
hyped.
yep
They got me hyped for the car set.
this is just the beginning. So hit that subscribe button to make sure you get notified when we post new videos. We're gonna be covering this set like crazy. I do have some exciting news that I can't spoil just yet about MagicCon Chicago. So tune in for that. But you will want to pay attention to my YouTube channel because there's some tie-ins there. So yeah. So is that it for today?
That's it for today,
All right.
Josh. What do you got to
So
tell them?
don't forget to like, shower, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
See you guys later.